Welcome to People. I'm Shirley Lin. Today I'm really delighted to have the Minister of the Government Information Office here with me as my guest. This is Mr. Philip Yang.
Hello, Shirley.
Yes.
Nice to be here.
Nice to meet you too. Yeah. First of all, he's not only the GIO Minister, but he's also a professor in political science at the National Taiwan University. Am I right?
Yeah, for the past 15 years.
I understand that you own a sky blue colored 1977 model Mercedes-Benz.
Yes.
Now, you have a love for antique cars, and I understand that you even shipped it from the States to Taiwan. Did you not?
That was a mistake.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, actually, that I had a chance to buy an antique car in the States. There was a Cadillac 1967 red convertible. And but when I first saw that, it was like a dream come true, you know, for people like our generation, like my generation, and watching Hollywood movie, and so there was like a dream come true for me. But I know that it's impossible for me to have a car like that when I was a student studying in the States. So I bought a Toyota Camry, you know, which is a really nice car, okay? And so I came back to Taiwan, and just one day I noticed that this is a very old Mercedes 1977, and it's good condition and not very expensive. As a matter of fact, it's cheap, and so I decided to have it. And well, it's not that comfortable compared with the modern, you know, automobile, but it still can run.
Oh, that's good. I'm really sorry. It seems like there wasn't any way for me to confirm these information that I got over the internet, whether they were correct or not. So forgive me.
Well, not your fault.
Maybe there's something we can do about this.
Sure.
To talk about something that you actually did more recently is you made a recent trip to the U.S. and you met with many international media, especially U.S. media. What were they most eager to know about Taiwan during this trip that you found out?
Yeah, that was last week, as a matter of fact, actually, that I went to the States. I visited New York and Washington. As a matter of fact, only 2 cities. I spent 7 days there. But I visited several mainstream American media from New York Times to Time Magazine, Washington Post, Wall Street Journal, and Bloomberg, and VOA, and many of them. And also I gave 3 lectures or talks in 3 different places, one in the Asia Society of New York, another one in the University of Virginia, my alma mater,
yes.
And also a third one is the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. And the first one, I talk about the cross-strait relations in New York, and then in Charlottesville, Virginia, I talk about the economy, the economic situation, and also the ECFA, the FTA, like the treaty between Taiwan and mainland China. And in Washington, I mainly focus on my talk on those security-related issues. So a lot of the media actually interested in what happened here in this area, especially across the Taiwan Strait. And they're very much interested about how do we manage that to have this Taiwan Strait, I mean, relatively stable, I mean, compared with the other region in the same period of time, say like to Korea during the Korean in that period of time that North Korea bombarded the Pyongyang island of South Korea, and then the United States had a military exercise with South Korea. And lately, that in the South China Sea, that there was very, as a matter of fact, that catching international attention about what happened there. So they wonder that before 2008, across the Taiwan Strait, there were a lot of crises, you know, things happened here. But after 2008, how do we manage to have this more stable environment? But meanwhile, we can sign this ECFA with mainland China and to promote trade and economic exchanges across the Taiwan Strait and maintain to sustain the impact of this global financial tsunami, and then have achieve a really historical high of our economic growth, which was 10.88 last year. So they were wondering that how can we manage that? I told them that this is a more smart strategy, how to maintain the balance and the win-win. Well, if United States together, that would be win-win-win strategy. So They were interesting that they were also interesting in understanding that about the military balance across the Taiwan Strait, and would like to note that whether that Taiwan is intended to buy more defensive weapons from the states, and I told them, of course, please give us more arms sales. So that's all the topic mainly they're interested about in the States.
Well, that was a lot of information that you had to remember, put it here, and tell the media. But that is great. So, what, switching around, what do you think you've learned from the foreign media in terms of how to report the news, the accuracy, or how they tell the stories? What things have you learned that Taiwan can learn from them?
That's a very good one. As a matter of fact, that two flows. As a matter of fact, first of all, I sense that this kind of sense of friendship and closeness that between most of the American media and the government officials and also those scholars about their relationship with Taiwan, that we're together, that we're probably been friends for a long time, and they cared about us, and that's very real, very much true, as a matter of fact. And the second one is just what you asked is that media, especially those mainstream media in the States, they're more interested in policy, discussion and analysis, and they would like to know that how do you manage to maintain the stability and peace across the Taiwan Strait, meanwhile, and to engage in China economic exchanges and establish and try to institutionalize those economic interactions. So they were more interested in those discussing those policy. They asked some issues about some question of those our leaders or the people here or the opposition party, but unlike Taiwan, as a matter of fact, that most of the Taiwan media are more interested in personal issues or in some of the comments made by some leaders or some people. So I think that but I'm not saying that in the States they don't have a paparazzi or things like that. Of course they do. They also very interesting in peeping those those secrets of those celebrity. But they have a very clear line, that of those media and of those reports in terms of the schedule, in terms of the content, in terms of the carry of those newspaper. So this is a very interesting development. I noticed that, as a matter of fact, actually probably our media can take some lessons from that. Because they're all well-developed democracies, and not just the States. I noticed that in Japan, in most of the European countries, they all have some kind of reports. And especially the same week, actually just a week before that, what happened in London, the issue of the problem of the news of the war, make especially American media think twice about how to report and also how to deal with those personal issues of those celebrities.
Okay. So are you planning to have like a class for...
No way. That the Minister of GIO, that this is just my experiences, and of course I'd like to encourage our media probably to have more of international news, carry more international news, more analysis of the policies, more in-depth or investigative reports. I think that our audience, especially Taiwanese people, they're already mature enough and sophisticated enough to like to learn more from watching those news and the programs.